Hello class, I wanted to go over an example of an informative speech outline. You don't want to start this until you get your topic approved because you want to make sure you have a solid topic, a topic you care about, a topic you know, because if you choose something you don't know, you're going to end up having to research it, and this is not a research speech. So you need to pick something that you know about. So I want to point out some things and go over this one here. So right here we have an example of an informative speech outline, and these things are going to be what is required of you in your outline. Right here, first thing is topic, the Titanic. Your general purpose for this speech will be to inform. On your persuasive speech, it will be to persuade. There is also an example of this if you I'm going to show you and scroll down. And here we have the specific purpose to inform my audience about one of the most famous tragedies in history, the Titanic. You must have these at the very top of your outline. That's a requirement. The next, you're going to put your thesis statement or a central idea. We'll refer to that as a central idea. Central idea and a thesis statement can be used interchangeably. This is the sentence that's going to go at the very end of your introduction. It is not going to be your first sentence. It's going to be up here, though, for your outline. This one is, from the disaster to the movie, the sinking of the Titanic remains one of the most famous tragedies in history. Then you're going to get down to your introduction. For this outline, you are required to write out your entire introduction. Here's what it will entail. The first thing is you must have an attention getter. You must slowly ease into your topic, so you're going to have to think of something to grab the attention of your audience. The next is going to be your reason to listen. Why is this important? Why are you giving a speech about this? Right here, it's one of the largest non-war related disasters in history, so it's important. The next is your thesis statement. Underneath that, you're going to have your credibility statement. Right here is going to be your connection to your topic. What is it that drew you to this topic? Why should we listen to you? And just establish that strong credibility in your introduction. Then the last sentence of your introduction is going to be a preview of your main points. Now there's going to be a variation of how you do these. If you have, you may have a couple of different things in this sentence. You could say something like, today I'm going to tell you about the Titanic, the B, your second key point, and then your 3. There's going to be a couple of examples posted. This is just a good, solid outline to start out with as an example. So these are the things you're going to be required to write out. Basically your introduction, and you're going to label them to make sure you have them there. You may have them in different order. The thesis, your central idea, does need to come towards the end, but you might have your reason to listen first because it might be tied in with your attention getter. So there are various ways to do this. So I don't want you to think that you're locked into following this exactly, but you want to make sure that your thesis and your central idea is towards the end of your intro. You're previewing that main point, and you have that credibility statement in there. So again, they might be a little bit in a different order. That's why I'm going to post a couple of different examples. And so let's move on. The next thing that you're going to have are your key points. You will have 3 to 4 key points. These must be focused and just have one idea. If you look here, this is what this speech is going to be about. First, I will discuss the Titanic itself. That's key point 1. Second, I will discuss the sinking of the ship, key point 2. Finally, I will discuss the movie that was made about the Titanic. So this follows the thesis statement telling us, here's the central idea. Here's the thesis statement that this speech is going to focus on. Here's why I picked it. And the very last, this will always be last. All the others might be out of order, but your preview of your main points are going to be very, very last. All the other stuff can be in a different order. This must be last. First, I will discuss the Titanic. This right here is telling me that key point 1, or A, is going to be all about just the Titanic itself. Next is going to be all about the sinking, and lastly is going to be all about the movie. Now here's where yours is going to be different. I am not requiring you to write out your key points. This outline, it does. You may do better if you write it out as this one is, but you're not required. The only things that you're required to do are bullet out your key points. So just have a couple of bullets about this right here. You want to make sure you have a strong topic sentence. So you could write your topic sentence and then bullet out the things that you're going to say. You could accomplish this with just a few phrases, or you can use words, but I'm not requiring you to write it out. Again, there will be other examples posted. This just gives you an idea. So here's his key point 1. Right here, you'll see a transition. Sorry about that. Let's highlight just what I want to look at. Right here is a transition. You must have transitions in between your key points. Now that I've discussed the Titanic itself, now I'm going to discuss the tragedy that occurred on its maiden voyage. And now we know we're at key point 2 that follows those key points he previewed or she previewed in the intro. And so now we're going to learn all about this. Same thing. You will be writing out your transition. I want to see what you plan on saying, because if you don't say that transition, you're going to lose a lot of points on the rubric. So I want to make sure that you have that in there. Then you're going to bullet out. This person wrote it out. You will bullet out your B. You will then write your transition. Now that we've learned about the history of the Titanic, I will discuss the movie. Now we know key point 3 or C follows the preview of the key points, and now we have key point 3, all about that. When you get down here, you don't really have a transition. You can have a sentence that kind of wraps it up, but you're leading into your conclusion. You will be writing out your conclusion just like this. Review your main points, restate the thesis or your central idea, and then have a closing remark. You don't introduce new material in your conclusion. So this was just a brief overview. I will be posting a few more examples, but if you see here, this is just a very solid way to, let me go past here, a very solid way to organize here. Right here we have, audience listed. You don't have to do that, but you'll see things that are consistent. Hearing loss, general purpose. This one is to persuade, a specific purpose, to persuade my audience. Then the thesis statement. We come down here, we have the same thing. The attention grabber, reason to listen, thesis statement, credibility, and then the preview of the main points, 1, 2, 3. That's telling me we have 3 key points, transitions, and a conclusion. So I hope this helps, and check out the other examples, but this is what you're going to have to submit before you give your speech. And I'll be giving feedback on here and telling you maybe what changes you need to make. And then you can use this outline and transfer it to a note card and use that for your speech. So I hope this helps. And if you have any questions, let me know.